Hello, hi. So I didn't have a voice the last few days, so I'm a little bit raspy. I know, super sexy. But I really wanted to make kind of an intro video for my channel about myself. The only video that I have up on my channel currently is the one about Dramus from WFAB. Like I said, I just want to call them WFAB because it's easy. So anyway, I've never really done this before, but I want to introduce myself. Maybe you might already know my story because by the time you'll be seeing this, my episode of Life After MLM with Roberta Levins will be out. So yeah, me. Hi, I am Michelle. I am in my 30s, I think. No, I definitely know I'm in my 30s, but I always forget whether I'm 33 or 34. So do with that what you will. I am married. I have a husband. His name is Tyler. I have a 2-year-old who is all over my Instagram and my TikTok. He's the cutest little boy in the entire world, and his name is Otto, which we spell O-T-T-O, but he spells O-T-O, and I cannot for the life of me get him to say O-T-T-O, no matter what. So he's super cute. About me, I am an activist. I work in tech. I am queer. I am anti-MLM, which you probably know because that's why I started my YouTube channel. I don't have a great camera for recording YouTube videos, which is why if I keep looking off to my side here, it's because I see myself on my phone screen, because otherwise I would be using my built-in webcam and my $200 computer. Yeah, so I said I work in tech. I work for a very big greeting cards company that I love very much, and I don't have any plans to leave my full-time job for any reason. Never did, even in my MLM. Even if I were to somehow make it into the 1%, I just really love my job. So that's maybe a weird thing about me. Otherwise, I also have a legitimate small business that I started while I was in my MLM because I wasn't making any money, and it was supposed to be a side hustle. And that is my Etsy shop that you can find either on my website, which is spoonstop.com, or my Etsy shop is also called Spoonstop. So I like to keep things pretty simple. On Instagram, my handle is Fallible Spoonie, but everywhere else it's just Spoonstop. So the reason for the spoons is I am a disability advocate, disability care work advocate, and I am disabled myself. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and Graves' disease and fibromyalgia. So that's kind of my background, where I come from physically, which will be important when we talk about which MLM I joined and left. Mental health, I definitely want to touch on because that's going to be pertinent information as well. So I suffer from anxiety, which I'm kind of having anxiety recording this video right now. Hi. OCD, although I am still working on getting that diagnosed, I know for sure that I have it, and ADHD. So the reason that is something I want to talk about, mental health, is because I don't think it's talked about quite enough. From Huns to Humans, Danielle does a really, really good job of covering mental health in the anti-MLM world and in MLM. So does Laura. What is her username? It's Laura B. So those two people do a really good job, I think, of talking about the mental health aspect of this whole community and this world, smaller world of anti-MLM. But I still don't think it's talked about enough, because the reason we're all here in this movement, in the anti-MLM movement, is because MLMs affected our mental health in some way, whether that's through trauma or just being put in uncomfortable situations, or even loss of money. Debt can seriously send someone into a depression. But I feel like all of the anti-MLMers that I know have ADHD. And sometimes I think it can maybe come across that ADHD is kind of like an in fad right now, if you will. But I just wanted to say, I don't think that that's the case at all. I think that we see a lot of people with ADHD because it's exactly the personality type that will join an MLM for lots of reasons. The dopamine addiction that ADHD people have is very easy to prey on that, which I know from personal experience from the other side. I will be completely transparent with you. I was absolutely a Hun when I was in my MLM, and I am both prey and predator. I hate that, but I acknowledge it and I'm working through it. We get obsessive about things, especially if we're being fed that dopamine rush, especially if we're being love bombed. I think people with ADHD are more likely to be the kind of person who is motivated by encouragement, affirmation, acknowledgement, celebration of their achievements, more so than being driven by money. And honestly, those are, to me, the two types of people that go into MLM are people who are super driven and motivated by money, and people who are super driven and motivated by affirmation. Affirmation is mine. Maybe that's why I failed in my MLM, but as we all know, MLMs are designed for people to fail. The only people who do succeed are generally the people who don't care about who they have to step on to get to the top, because they are solely driven and motivated by money. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. If you don't agree and that pisses you off, you don't have to watch the rest of this. You don't have to hit subscribe, whatever. So I have kind of a sort of outline for this video because, yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I like to talk. I'm very talkative. I may suffer from anxiety and stutter a lot and whatnot, but I'm not shy, and I am an extrovert. So I have a really annoying personality type where I like to talk and my words do not come out the way they would if I were writing. So, blah. Let's talk about how and why I got into MLM. I'm just gonna tell you my story from beginning to end. The Chiefs won today. I live in Kansas City. So, go Chiefs. Maybe I'll record some tonight and maybe I will delete this video and start over. Maybe I will finish later. I don't know. We'll see. Drink water. Go pause this and go get some water. I know you're not drinking enough water. This is a water break. Okay. So, MLM and me. So the first MLM that I was ever aware of, not that we called it that, not that I even realized it was one until, decades later. My mom sold Metabolife for a while, and all I remember is just her bedroom being completely full of Metabolife. My understanding is that she couldn't really even give it away, basically. Also, it gave my dad a heart murmur, so yikes. I did a little digging on Metabolife a few weeks ago because I was really curious about what she had gotten herself into. And it's essentially, it's shut down. It's no longer in business, but essentially Metabolife was legal meth. Well, I guess I would say it's non-prescription Adderall. And I found out fairly recently that the two guys who started the Metabolife company had actually previously been police officers who had gotten busted and charged with felonies for cooking actual meth. So that's a fun story that I might dive into someday. And one of their last names was Blevins, which really made me crack up. Probably no relation to Roberta. I don't know. That was a little glimpse into the garage stock thing, but I didn't know what was going on at the time. I think Metabolife closed down in the early 2000s. This had to be in 97 or 98 or something, maybe even earlier. I don't know. My first real foray though into selling was when I was 16. Avon actually had a sort of branch of distributors that was specifically recruiting child slaves, I don't know, teenagers. And I joined, and I was so excited because I was gonna be the school Avon lady, and I had a catalog that I would bring to my high school and try to sell makeup to my friends. I don't think I made even one sale. I don't think I even used the makeup. I mean, back in high school, my entire makeup look, which was every single day, by the way, was just thick black eyeliner all around my entire eyes, all around the eye, completely, and nothing else. So I was really cool. I mean, like I said, I don't think I ever made any sales, and I didn't really buy anything. So I was only with Avon Mark, which was the name of their teen line, for a little while. And then many years later, I want to say 4 years ago, maybe. I can look it up actually because I'm at my computer. Oh my God, where is Wikipedia? It's 11:20 at night, so I don't really know why I'm doing this right now. I think it's because my episode of Life After MLM is coming out tomorrow, and I wanted to be able to put something out on my YouTube channel for people to see if they go to the show notes tomorrow when the podcast airs. I cannot type for the life of me. Oh my God. What the hell? Oh my God. This is not important, but I am, if nothing else, obsessive. Okay, this company doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, so I probably never would have become a millionaire anyway. Let's just say it was 4 years ago. I joined Red Aspen 6 months after they were founded. So I really got in on the ground floor. The only thing they were selling at the time that I joined was fake eyelashes and the application glue and the applicator. And that's basically it. And I got really into it. I was kind of a hun. I had a Facebook group where I would go live and put my lashes on camera, and I loved them. I still do love them. They're honestly a great product. I don't buy from them anymore because they're an MLM, but I will give them that. They make a good, way too expensive product. $16 for one set of lashes. $16 for a set of eyelashes. That's one pair, 2 eyelashes. Anyway, I didn't do very well with them. My friends were very supportive. They, like most of my friends, bought like a pair of eyelashes from me. Some even bought like 2. But, you know, they didn't want to like buy some every month or anything like that. And nobody wanted to join under me. So it was like never gonna happen. So what you have to understand is like the people that I surround myself with are very outspoken, very liberal, very much to the left of center, we'll say, and very much anti-MLM without actually being part of the anti-MLM community. I was told when I was joining Red Aspen and later when I joined Beachbody by everyone I know that it was a pyramid scheme. Everyone. And I also was kind of anti-MLM. So like, I'm just very easily persuaded into things, and that's my ADHD. I think that that's a common trait of people who do get sucked into MLMs. Like, I would buy anything if you tell me to buy it. Like, give me even one crappy reason to buy it, and I'll be like, oh, that's such a good idea. I'm just very, very easily persuaded. And then I also get like obsessed. I'm very obsessive, and I do this. I go through these cycles, these like seasons of my life, I guess, where I get really, 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 really into like different hobbies, and I make my whole life revolve around them for like a month or 2, and then I just drop them like they never happened and store all of the equipment in like a cubby in my brain and in my closet. I got really into knitting once, and I'm an okay knitter. I got really into sewing, like really into sewing, and I made quilts. Like, I was good at it. I am like moderately good at so many things, but I don't really stick to many things long enough to be like really good at them. And that kind of sucks. But it's also like perfect for an MLM to get their hooks into someone like me, because I go hard at first. You don't even need to love bomb me, although it helps. But I go real hard, like at first. And then I drop it. So the real MLM that really impacted my life was Beachbody. I joined Beachbody in June of 2020. I was 8 or 9 months postpartum. I had gained a lot of weight, and I was happy with how my body looked. I was pretty comfortable with how I looked. I was definitely overweight, but I didn't really care about that appearance-wise. However, it was really, really impacting my quality of life as far as like pain goes. So like I said, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder. Basically, my joints are all really loose. I remember specifically, it was talked about a lot when I was pregnant. There's like this hormone that the reproductive system releases when a person is like about to give birth, that like opens up their hips. Basically, it loosens the connective tissues that hold like your joints in place. I can't think of, for the life of me, of what it's called, and I apparently can't find it on Google. But basically, that's just how I am all the time. So it's just fun. And I have fibromyalgia, and it really, really got bad when I was pregnant. Like really bad. I had my baby in October of 2019, and leading up to it, I actually ended up having to use part of my maternity leave early and leave work for my maternity leave like a month before I actually gave birth, which sucked because it took away time that I could have spent with my baby, actually, my outside baby, after he was born. I didn't get to do that because I was basically completely disabled. My office space in the building was like a 10-minute walk from where I had to park. And that may not seem like a lot, but I was really struggling to even walk from my car to the front door of my house at the time. So it was just not, I was just in a lot of pain, like a lot of pain. And then I kind of went into remission from that right after he was born. And then a few months later, the pandemic hit, and my husband and I just started like eating Andy's frozen custard every day, and not getting any exercise because we were both furloughed, and I put on a ton of weight, and it took me out of remission, and I was just in a lot of pain all the time. So I was recruited into Beachbody by a really good friend of mine who also suffers from chronic pain and chronic illness. And both of us were kind of grossed out by the whole concept of there even being such thing as a Beachbody, because if you can go to the beach, you have a Beachbody. I think all women are beautiful. I think all people are beautiful just the way they are. We just wanted to improve our quality of life and control our pain. So us joining Beachbody, and we joined basically at the same time, but I joined under her. Us joining Beachbody was really weird. I definitely feel like we were judged by a lot of our friends, and rightfully so, because it was a pyramid scheme. But we kind of went into it with sort of open eyes, to an extent. So our intentions were completely like altruistic. We just wanted to reduce our chronic pain and genuinely wanted to help other friends of ours, other disabled friends of ours, to reduce their chronic pain as well. And yeah, it's really problematic that we specifically targeted disabled people to try and recruit into Beachbody, and I feel awful about that, and I'm really sorry about that, to anyone I did that to. But at least in the beginning, my intentions were completely pure. My big why in Beachbody literally was to be able to get down on the floor and play with my toddler, who was learning to crawl at the time, without having to worry about how I was going to get back up again. And you know what? Beachbody did help me with that. We kind of had this mentality that we were going to take their tools, their on-demand fitness and their superfood shake, and utilize those tools, but run our group completely differently. That was what we thought we were doing, but we still called it a fit club, which is like Beachbody coaches have a fit club that they run. If you don't know about Beachbody, customers of Beachbody will normally sign up for a year of the on-demand exercise programs. It's like the Netflix of exercise programs. And then the only way to really make money off of them is to also get them on an Autoship for either Shakeology, which is the daily dose of dense nutrition, which is like $140 a month, or their pre and post workout, which is also about the same price, or both, which I did, of course. So, I mean, we started attending like Zoom calls, training calls with my friend's upline. She signed up under a really successful Beachbody coach. She, she makes like 6 figures. She retired her husband and bought a boat and built a house and all that stuff that you hear the 1% in an MLM brag about having done. And we were really sucked in, and over the course of a few weeks, really like brainwashed by these calls, these leadership calls that we were invited to, because obviously we were being love bombed to hell, like made to feel really special, made to feel like she was just like tuned in on us and our group, and she knew that we were going to be the next big thing in Beachbody, and we were going to be able to target a whole new demographic that nobody else was talking about with our fit club, which we called Flair Fit Club. Team Flair was mine and my friend's Facebook group. I loved the community aspect of it. Running the fit club was a lot of time and energy, but I felt at the time like it was well spent, making all these graphics, daily morning and evening check-ins, to just kind of poll the club and ask, who worked out today, drop an emoji if you drank your Shakeology today, or in the morning, what's on your agenda for the day, or we would have themes like everyone record yourself working out in your pajamas or in tie-dye or in 70s theme or, whatever. We tried to make it fun, and I really did. I had a lot of fun. But I wasn't getting paid. Like, I felt like I was getting paid because I was getting a little paycheck every week, but I was getting paid a lot less than I was putting into it, because the first thing that our upline Ashley had us do right out the gate was create a ghost account under our husband or boyfriend's name so that we would have complete control over 2 of our accounts, and then all we would have to do is recruit 1 more person to be an emerald rank, which is the first bonus earning rank in Beachbody, and all you have to do is have 2 coaches signed up underneath you to be an emerald. Obviously, doing all of that benefited her a lot more than us, because the team bonuses for an emerald are like $6 per week per $100 spent on your team, and nobody was spending $100, especially not a week. So we signed up several of our spoony friends, our disabled friends, and a lot of us lost a lot of weight and started feeling better. Disclaimer, all of this could have been done without being in a fucking pyramid scheme. And if I ever have the spare time and energy to do it again for free, I totally would. But never through an MLM. No. It would be like YouTube videos, and I don't know, just like if we even did like a nutrition aspect or shakes or anything, we would just like find the cheapest ones that had good reviews probably. Anyway, so going back to our club name, Team Flair, it's a play on words because fibro people have flares of pain. I am actually hopefully nearing the end of a flare right now that has been going on for several days. I am in a lot of pain right now. God, I have so much to say, but I just want to like introduce myself. I want to get myself out there, tell you who I am, so that some of my videos that I make in the future make more sense and you know where I'm coming from. But I have so many tangents going on in my brain. I even have like an outline and I'm going totally off script. It's ridiculous. So Flair, oh my God, I'm still not done with this one sentence. So Flair is a play on words because of that, and also it stood for fighting limitations and rejecting expectations. So like I said, we were trying to basically use Beachbody's tools to go completely not in the direction that the stereotypical Beachbody coach would. That's not what ended up happening because we were kind of brainwashed, I feel, by all these leadership calls and Zoom calls that we were on. We thought we were doing it. We thought we were completely different, but we still called our group a fit club, even though it wasn't about getting fit, supposedly. And we still did all of the shitty behaviors of an MLM, like creating ghost accounts and paying for rank, which I absolutely did. I had like 4 ghost accounts, for real. And this is how I ended up spending so much money and didn't realize I was doing it. I was getting this little paycheck every week, and for some reason, my brain was like, yeah, it's totally paying for itself. You're getting like free product. When in reality, like maybe my account was getting free product for like basically it canceled out what I was paying, because I was probably making, you know, at least $150 a month for the first few months. But it certainly wasn't paying for all of the other shit I was buying under my husband's account in order to even get to the rank that would give me commissions in the first place, or the post-workout that I had on Autoship going to one of my personally sponsored coaches who was broke and not interested in the nutritional products, but was doing the workouts and didn't have a problem paying the business fees. So she was happy to like help out by paying the business fees and being a coach. But in order for me to get paid on her, she would have to be active, which means she would have to spend a minimum of like 50 PV a month. And she was not willing to do that, which is fine. But I needed her to be. So I got her login. I had the passwords to like half my team's accounts and would just like buy things under their name and have them shipped to my address and whatnot at the end of the month. So many people in MLMs do this. So many people. They will tell you up and down that they don't while they're in. And as soon as they get out, they will be like, oh yeah, I was doing that. Everyone does that. With her, I signed her up for an auto ship of the post-workout, and I just had it going to her house but charging my card for like 6 months. It was like $60 a month that I was spending on this, and she didn't even want or need it. She probably still has most of it. I still have a shit ton of it, so I didn't need it to be going to my house. I had way too much. So I ended up leaving because I was really broke, and I knew that I had lost a lot of money, and I was in several like push to diamond groups over the course of the 14 months that I was in the group, which was basically just like a special chat for people who were trying to get to the next rank, with like daily check-ins with your upline and whatever. I did some gross things, like I did a month where we did like a bet on you in like a larger group, not in my uplines team alone, but in like a big Beachbody group, where like one person had a PayPal set up and everyone like bet $20 on themselves, and whoever ranked up by the end of the month would like split the pot. And I did not rank up, so I lost my $20, but I was like, it's $20. I did win one thing. So Beachbody's like main metric is Success Club, which breaks down to if you help 3 people in the month, which means signing them up with a kit. If you sell 3 of these in the month, you will have, there are 2 Success Club points each, and you need 5 in order to get Success Club. And it's really kind of difficult to get only 1, so generally you have 6. And if you hit Success Club for 3 out of your first 6 months, then you win something. It's different depending on when you've signed up and everything. But what I got was a Beachbody 1,000-piece puzzle, which is still in the packaging because why? And a ticket to the next year's convention. And I was really excited about Summit, about going because it was going to be free. And I mean, fun story, they ended up canceling it and making it virtual, the one that I had a ticket for. They ended up canceling the in-person and made it virtual, and everyone was invited, no ticket required, and I got nothing for having won my free ticket or whatever. So after many months, 13 months, I think, of the grind for basically no pay, because I made commissions in the first 3 months. I did pretty well in the first 3 months, but then I kept paying for my husband's account and I kept paying for mine, and I kept doing this other shady shit that cost me money, and I stopped getting new customers and coaches to sign up. Like I ran out of people, and I was absolutely not willing to completely cold message people. I did do the shady shit, like adding people on Facebook that I didn't actually know. Like, I'm not happy that I did that. I actually did get some really good friends out of it, because like I would add them, but I didn't have the heart to just like message and invite them. I ended up actually becoming pretty good friends with some of them, and I am happy about that. Anyway, I lost 75 pounds. I am in a lot better shape, and I'm in a lot less pain. So I'm happy about that as well. But I could have done that without the pyramid scheme. You know, I can find workout videos on YouTube. So anyway, after I left, I found the Dream podcast. And well, when I started like thinking about leaving, I found the Dream podcast, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in a cult. Shit. This is embarrassing. Everyone told me what it was, and I told them this one was different. I knew what MLMs were before. You know, I had watched the John Oliver episode about MLMs and was disgusted and outraged by it and knew all that shit. But I was like, this is different. We're just going to use their tools and do our own thing with them. And that is not how it works. That's not what ends up happening. And it was embarrassing. But I am the kind of person that leans into everything. Anything that scares me or makes me uncomfortable, I lean in hard. And that's why I had so much fun. Like, I would get messages all the time from people who would be watching my stories and stuff. And looking back on some of my stories that I posted during that time, I am just so embarrassed. But some people really loved it because I post every single day. Every single day. I recorded myself working out for at least a half hour, and then I did a bunch of editing and fit it all under 60 seconds and posted them on TikTok. And if you scroll back far enough, my current TikTok is the same one I had before, and I haven't deleted anything. And I would like speed them up and cut them together and post them with music that went with it. And I had a lot of fun doing that kind of thing because it was really embarrassing, and I lean in. And that's just my personality type. I think that's an ADHD thing. If you have ADHD and you're nothing like that, I'd be curious I'd be interested in like having a conversation about it, because I feel like that's where I get my main dopamine hits. So another thing about me that I forgot to mention in the first place, is that I'm an alcoholic. And at the time that I joined Beachbody, I was still drinking a lot. 6 months in, I quit drinking and cut out gluten from my diet. And I think that those two things had a lot to do with me actually seeing results from the programs. And so I have been sober for 13 months now. And that's just another fun fact about me. Yeah, so I kind of expected this to be like a multi-segment video or maybe like a longer video, although I have been talking just about myself for like 50 minutes and I still don't feel like I've covered half of my story. But yeah, maybe you get the idea. I think this is enough for like an intro video anyway. I would really like to hear from anyone who feels like my story resonates with them. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of covering Beachbody stuff, and also just like problematic shit, like my first video that I posted, about Dre going in her stories and like exploiting the fucking Holocaust to try and sell her cryptocurrency thing. Anyway, that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in. Black Lives Matter, because they do. We have a serious racism and systemic racism problem in this country. I come from a place of privilege, extreme privilege, being a fairly well-off white lady. I feel like if I have a platform, I need to use it to talk about some of the less discussed problematic aspects of whatever I'm talking about. So I am interested in talking about systemic racism, homophobia, transphobia, and how it impacts people in MLM. You don't really see a lot of queer people, genderqueer people, trans people, black people, brown people, marginalized in other ways, people in MLM. And I don't think that that's a reason not to talk about it. I think that that's a really good reason to talk about it, because there is something wrong when all of the people that you see finding success in MLM look the same, come from the same background, have the same religious views. It's a really big problem. And I hope that I get the opportunity and the platform to be able to shed some light on all of that. So that's kind of my why for being anti-MLM and speaking out about it. Just to add my voice and do what I can. I just want to do what I can to help. And also, this is my new thing. Like, Beachbody was my thing, sewing was my thing, knitting was my thing. I really feel passionate about this right now. So I'm not making any promises, but I do want my voice to be heard and hopefully inspire other people to share theirs. So if any of that resonates with you, definitely reach out to me. DM me on Instagram. My handle is Fallible Spoonie. Reach out to me on TikTok, which is Spoonstop. Comment on this video, subscribe, whatever. Really not here to like get a huge following and monetize or anything like that. I have a good job that I work full time. I don't want to be held to any expectations of posting X times a week at certain times or anything like that. I just want this to be a place where I can share my thoughts. And like I said, hopefully shed some light on some things that maybe others aren't talking about. So that's me. I can't believe I did this all in one sitting. But enjoy